Okay, so I know you'd read the book before you were approached for.
I haven't actually. No,
Oh,
that's
you haven't?
something I'm going to be
Okay.
correcting people on that all day because that's something that Alex has said that I know is in the press thing.
Yeah.
So I read the script and then went and did my obviously due diligence on the book after that. But yeah, no, I hadn't actually read it before that.
But what was your reaction though to kind of seeing what this role was going to be like? Very juicy, very dark, lots of swearing, bit of sex. You know, yeah, brilliant. Gets to do a dark role.
I say the F word I think like 50 times in this movie, and we had to make an airplane safe version of the film, which you always have to do, which replaced every single one of those with another noise or word of some kind, which was. I guess my advice would be try not to see this movie on an airplane. It's very much not the same movie. But yeah, I mean I responded to the material immediately because it was so original and different, and the character was like something I didn't really feel I played before. I have played Americans before, but I haven't played this sort of modern American character before, and just somebody I really liked him. You know, he is an anti-hero and he does a lot of things in the movie that are questionable, highly, but you know, the thrust of him is he is a good person. He has had a horrendous situation befall him, and though you sort of might not agree with everything he does, it's all quite well-intentioned, and hopefully you're sort of still rooting for him.
And you play haunted and angry very well. I think you're
Thank
really
you.
well cast.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some practice at that. I think it's been a lot of my career could be described as haunted and angry.
Do you do anything in particular to get yourself?
Can I just pull you back a tiny bit on your chair? I'm just seeing your hair as when you lean forward. Sorry about that.
No, it's the price you pay for having lovely hair.
Yeah.
I was going to say something about having like the big blue eyes and then the horns is very. It just.
Oh, good, thank you. I mean, I definitely felt like because you know it's always a concern. You see the line written down. You know, he has horns, and you kind of you imagine something, and of course you imagine it really, really cool, and it's exactly as you picture it. But there's always a worry that with something that extreme, that you're going to look at it and go, oh god, this looks funny, or this looks like, and it does look odd, but it does also manage to look genuinely almost cool at times. I think, if I say so myself, and yeah, I just think it. And there are some of the coolest shots I've ever got to do in my life are in this movie, without a doubt. Like coming out of the bar with Marilyn Manson, Personal Jesus playing, with like smoke billowing around me. Like I may never get a shot I like more than that one.
How long did the horns take to attach?
Like 20 minutes. They were very, very quick. It was sort of a wire structure that sat on my head, which they were connected to, and then they just blended the front pieces and covered the wire with my hair. So it was very quick. The makeups towards the end of the film obviously took a bit longer, but actually, as far as prosthetics go and full body stuff, that was nothing. I had 2 hours of makeup done, probably both days, and that's pretty remarkable for what they achieved. I mean, you know, if they had taken 5 hours to do what they did, you go, wow, that's amazing. But to do it in 2 is unbelievable.
Did you get to keep any?
I got one set of the horns, yeah. And I also got actually my favourite thing that I've probably ever nicked off a film set, which was my jacket that I wear in this film, the brown leather jacket, which I think was made for this film. It's quite a statement to wear around. Like there are very few times that I'm like, oh yeah, this just goes with anything I'm wearing. But it's cool enough that I don't care about that.
It's a great film for Halloween.
Yeah.
Speaking of Halloween, I have to ask you, when was the last time you gave someone a fright?
I definitely had like that thing as a kid where if particularly with my parents, like I ran everywhere as a kid, so I generally reached wherever we were going before my parents did, and if I got there before them, I would always have this urge to like just hide somewhere and jump out at them like I had disappeared. So I don't know when like the last time I did that was, but I definitely did it a lot as a child.
And what about getting scared yourself? When was the last time you had a scare?
Actually, no, I'm going to change my first answer. The last time I scared someone was probably my driving instructor the other day on a driving lesson, when I sort of started suddenly going into the curb. And he was like, no, we don't drive there, Dan. It's not for cars. And yeah, but I can't think. When was the last time somebody frightened me? I can't think of anything right now, I'm sorry.
Now, I know you said you did a little Twitter Q&A recently, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you mentioned the driving thing on there. And you also mentioned you'd quite like to direct. Is that
Yeah.
something that you might be doing soon?
I don't know about soon, but it's definitely something that I want to do, and you know, I can talk about it forever, or I can actually start trying to do it. And I've written something which, again, I don't know if it's good. I like it, but I've just got to the point of starting to show it to people because I've again had that moment of being, well, I could tinker with this forever, or I can just start sending it to people and see what is required to change, and start working on it. So it's great. It's nice to just have some other outlet, and because as an actor, you're I heard somebody say it in a really good way once, where they said you're an interpretive artist rather than a creative one, and I think it would be nice to be able to sort of do both.
Is it a comedy or a drama?
It's a very dark comedy, yeah.
And who would you like to cast in it if you had your
I
choice?
do have a dream cast, but I'm not going to say now because it will, I want to approach them at some point, and I don't want this to be the way they find out about it.
That's fair enough. Now, I just wanted to talk to you quickly about the way that your career's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Is it frustrating that everyone always says, oh, he's done a dark role, he's got away from Harry Potter, oh, he's done this, he's got... Or do you kind of take it with are you quite philosophical about it?
I am. I think I'm fairly philosophical about it. I think if something gets frustrating, it's the fact that people seem to think that everything I'm doing is a comment on Harry Potter, which it's not. And it doesn't always need to be equated to that, but because that's the narrative of my life, that's what people link it into all the time. That's a little frustrating, but also... I think the thing I do find frustrating sometimes as well is that some people seem to think that by wanting to do other things, it somehow means that I am not proud of Harry Potter, which is just ludicrous. There is no reason why both can't be completely true, and they are. So, those are the things that get, I suppose, a little frustrating. But generally speaking, that's it. I'm always fine with people talking to me about Harry Potter or asking me questions about it. I obviously want to talk about horns as well, but I totally accept that people are interested. It's an interesting thing to happen to a person, so I guess people are going to ask. And
with horns and with What If as well, you're kind of becoming a bit of a sex symbol, which for some of your fans is kind of weird because we've seen you grown up on screen and now here you are, so how do you feel about that?
I don't know. If anyone sees me that way, I'm delighted. That's awesome. I don't know what to say. I'm flattered. That's it. I'll leave it there. But yeah, I guess with the growing up on screen thing, somebody did say that to me once, because I said to somebody, because around the time of What If, the rom-com coming out, that a lot of people were saying, you're a really unconventional romantic lead, and so eventually I got bored of hearing that, and I kind of picked someone up on it. So I was like, what about me is unconventional? Just exactly, tell me. And she said, well, I think it's probably the fact that, we associated you with playing Harry and a young boy for so long. And my immediate response was, well, the male population has had no problem sexualizing Emma Watson immediately. So it's, I think maybe that it's a different thing perhaps. But I don't think, I hope people don't still see me as a schoolboy, obviously.
And you're a horror fan, are you?
Pardon me?
Are you a horror fan?
I am a horror fan, yeah, absolutely. And it's always fun to make something knowing that it's going to freak someone out 10 months down the line.
That's great. We're out of time. Thanks
awesome.
so much.
Thank you very much.